Good morning. Hey, you guys. So, I'm gonna chat a little bit today about um, um, Brene Brown and her work around shame and guilt. And she's an amazing researcher and a doctor and a speaker and as far as I know, a person in recovery. And I've heard her speak a number of times, and not live, but on podcasts. She did a really nice talk with Russell Brand, and she's done. She's really been interviewed by lots of people. I watched an interview with her and what's her name the other day. Oh gosh, and with an episode with Oprah. I'm sorry, with Oprah. And she was so good. I cried. I rushed that yesterday. I just literally, it was that good. And so the what I want to do today is talk a little bit about her, and I'm gonna just see if I can. Yes, there it is. Um, if I don't know if I can do that or not, I can. Good. So anyway, the she her talk on YouTube on shame and guilt um, has been viewed over 14 million times, and it was an amazing piece. And she talks about the fact that most of us don't want to talk about shame. It's not like top of the list. I'm going to see a speaker on shame, but wow, she is so good. And the difference between, she defines the difference between shame and guilt and and where we've been shamed in our lives and how we've carried that shame and often we were shamed in school. She talks about that. And it's like, oh, because we don't think of that, do we? That. And she talks about how teachers will do that sometimes, and yeah. So I'm hi Rebecca, good, good. Uh, Good to see you guys here. I'm on a new camera these days, and it's on my. I bought a new MacBook Air, and I know I'm all over the place here, but yes, yeah, isn't she great? Anyway, so I'm on this on my MacBook, and I can't see unless you make a note. I can't see who's here, um, like I used to be able to do on my phone. I could see when people popped in, but here I can't. I can just only see when you'd make a comment. So I'd love to know that you're watching, and if you just say hi, that would be awesome. And I have my phone on too, watching it there, trying to see who's dropped in, but I guess that's not going to work so well. I can see some, but um, so that's it. Brene Brown, the whole piece on shame. Her talk yesterday. I'm going to put a link on this for her YouTube talk, but the one with Oprah, I bawled. Honestly, it was like, oh my gosh, you really touched me, and I was having kind of a day anyway. Trying to. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, and so it was. Yeah, I just wanted to recommend her. It was her piece. I can't go deep enough into it to kind of explain it, but I get that one of the things that she said that with addiction or alcoholism, that shame is not like a brother; it's like a twin. We're they're intertwined, and and trauma and shame and alcoholism and addiction are intertwined, and she helps her description help us to pull apart some of the pieces, and not for therapeutic reasons, but know thyself is really key in surrender to the moment. What is it when we become more aware or conscious of what does shame look like when it comes up, and she asked, I also bought her books, two of her books yesterday, and going deep into Brene because it was just it really touched me, and what happens when we feel shame. We look down. We feel it in the pit of our stomach. It's married with fear. It's pretty messy. It's one of those um, like jealousy. Have you ever felt jealousy? It's got all kinds of components in it, and shame is the same. It really affects us in a deep way. So I'm recommending Brene to all of you to look at her books and so many YouTube talks. And I'll put the TED Talk link here, and it's a rabbit hole. You could, spend hours down there, but I think for a lot of my audience and a lot of people that I get to share with, uh, who are dealing with addictions, they'll like what she has to say. Her talk with Russell Brand is great too. Um, but she really touched me yesterday because she did, the whole thing on vulnerability. Why is it that we're not naturally wanting to be vulnerable? And it's often fear related or shame related, and we get defensive, and that happens to me. I get defensive sometimes, and the last couple of weeks working at Fresh Start, one of the things I love about being there is it's so real. It's so um, it's so real. And somebody just sent me a message on the phone. So yes. Anyway, look at that. Have a look at it. And the other thing that this morning I woke up and often if I wake up at 4 or so in the morning, I'll put on a YouTube video and kind of fall in and out of sleep, and I was listening for a while to Muji and really dropped into a space of nothingness, of oneness, of I am thatness, and it was so beautiful. And then later I put on or what came up, YouTube kind of picks things, and what came up was some Ramdass. And I love Ramdass. And he today was talking about stories of India. And, we think we know who we are. We think we know who we are. And then, you listen to this guy, and I mean, he was a researcher at Harvard. This is an amazing man who, gave his life to service. He truly did, and made a big difference on the planet. And in my estimation, a huge difference on the planet. And he talks about, some of the things that happened with his guru that were, unexplainable, almost, he said sometimes we call it magic because we just don't know what to say. It's beyond our scope of understanding, so it must be magic, But it was he told some amazing stories today. Maybe I'll put that link on here too. So life, the never ending. I think the things that for me that continue is to continue looking at myself. My friend Morris Lukowicz called me yesterday, and I'd sent him a video and of one of the videos I'd done recently, and he he's um, often Morris is very frank. He just says it like it is, and he said, wow, that was just so full of ego, and and what I and he pointed me to Brene yesterday. He did. He said, "Why don't you listen to this and see what you think of it?" Because he could see something, and that's why we have you know uh, spiritual teachers and friends that we trust, that we listen to, and because they can see us sometimes beyond what we can see ourselves, and we have a sponsor because we go when stuff's coming up that we're not you know comfortable with, or we're going through stuff, we can reach out. And so I listened. I don't always want to listen, but I listened, and he really steered me down an amazing path yesterday. And, when you're ready for things, they appear, and it's just amazing how that happens. I was out on a walk, and I was struggling, with what's next. It's way out of the friggin' moment. Anyway, so here we are, and grateful to be back. And it just feels super. Um, so, not a long talk today. I'm going to read from this, and yeah, happy to make a couple of suggestions like Brene Brown and Ramdass, and surround yourself with, in my opinion, with people who are, on the path that are have done the work, and that we can grow from being in their presence. And um, you know, just for me in the last couple of days, I've just mentioned a few, Muji and Brene Brown and Ramdass, and I mean, there's so many, and they're so available, and have friends and sponsors that can help you, and sponsees, um, because sometimes when a sponsee comes to you with what's happening in his life, it's like, it's so powerful, because what's happening often in his life is what's happening in your life, and we get to see ourselves through working with others. One of the things that Ramdas did is he committed, he talks about karma yoga, and he committed his life to service, and helping people, in so many different ways. And so service, karma yoga is amazing, and service is the key. It's one of the keys, and that's it. Okay, January the 5th, isn't it? It is already. Look at that. This year's just flying by. Hope you guys are all good. Love you. January the 5th, AA. It says, thought for the day. Have I turned to a higher power for help? Do I believe that each man or woman I see in the 12-step world in AA is a demonstration of the power of God to change a human being from a drunkard into a sober, useful citizen? Yes. It's funny when we go to meetings, and we all look so good, and it's easy to forget where we came from. uh, do I believe that this higher power, God as I understand him, can keep me from abusing or drinking? Am I living one day at a time? Do I ask God to give me the power to stay sober for each 24 hours? Do I attend the meetings regularly? So, he's in the early days of January, kind of talking about step one, really. And yeah, I mean, my prayers today are, how can I serve? Show me, where I can go to work for, my higher power, my universal intelligence. Keep me in the field, and yes. So, but prayer. Meditation for the day. I believe it says that God's presence brings peace, and that peace, like a quiet, flowing river, will cleanse all irritants away. In these quiet times, God will teach me how to rest my nerves. I will not be afraid. I will learn how to relax. When I am relaxed, God's strength will flow into me. I will be at peace. And for me, one of the ways, of course, to relax is to meditate, to sit quietly, which we're going to do in a minute. Prayer for the day. I pray that peace which passeth all understanding. I pray for that peace that passeth all understanding. Amen. I pray for that peace which the world can neither give nor take away. The peace that passeth all understanding. Beautiful. So, short message today. Just, wow, the whole thing that Brene talks about around shame was enlightening for me. And I'm going to go deep into her work, and to become more aware in that area. Yeah, she's really done the job on that one. Okay, let's have a couple of minutes of quiet time, a little meditation. Would you like to join me for some meditation time today? If you could get comfortable, that would be great. Find your way. My coffee's so good this morning. Mm. Okay. And on top of everything, I think it's my friend Paul Lowe used to say, don't take it too seriously, right? Don't take it too seriously. You know, it's all unfolding as it should. Um, One of the links I think I'll put in, the Ramdass link, he tells a story, of how, an incident where he thought he was making decisions, but that his guru was way ahead of him and actually had dinner prepared for Ramdass and 30 some people that were on a bus that were going to Delhi and stopped to see a spiritual space, didn't even know the guru was there. And early that morning, he'd asked the local people to prepare for these 33 people for dinner before they'd even left. Whether they didn't even know they were coming. It all unfolded, and dinner was there for them, and they didn't even know. His guru hadn't seen his guru in 2 years. It was a pretty amazing story. Um, he has lots of those. Okay, you guys. So we just sit for a few minutes. Just close our eyes and remember that meditation just allows us to drop away from the mind, to drop away from the busyness, into a quiet space. And in that quiet space, to become one with God, universal intelligence. I mean, we always are one. It just that it's sometimes clouded by busyness and thoughts and prayer and guilt and shame and fear, kind of blocks it all out. Sunlight of the spirit. When we sit and consciously let go of our beliefs and our conditioning and our ideas of what's next, we just sit, just drop in with the breath. In that quiet space that can appear, we can build that relationship with universal intelligence, God as we understand him, or God as we don't understand him, the now. Just be here now. I am that. You are that. We are that. One. Okay, just come back when you're ready. Wow. Wow, beautiful. So, just a couple of things I just want to mention that, take today and remember there's lots of folks who are, who are, almost confined to their homes, not working, and there's nowhere to go. And so there's lots of folks who are staying home. I'm going to just suggest that we reach out to people today, that we say hello, have a list of people and say, reach out and just to comfort, just to listen, just to see how they're doing. And that's my encouragement for today. And the other thing is that this is going to be up on YouTube in an hour or so. I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you. Love you guys. And thanks for this opportunity to do this, to share with you on a daily basis. Okay. Love you lots. Cheers. Bye.